I think fandom is something, maybe not a place physically, but a way for people who enjoy the same things to come together and discuss it and enjoy it even more. I kind of imagine it as like a fan kingdom.
Really, my love just came from when I was a child.
My definition of fandom is it's all the things that go into really, really loving a piece of media. Like, ordinary people watch a show, people who are members of a fandom live and breathe a show, or read a comic or a book series or what have you. Fandom to me is about being passionately invested in this world, about caring about the characters, about making connections with other people, about really getting into the story and getting into the world as it is, and basically bringing a little of that magic and whimsy and wonder of that fantasy world, or darkness and crime, and depending on your fandom, bringing that into the real world and sort of using that show or that media to connect to other people and create a better world.
The one thing is, I tend to mostly cosplay characters who are total jerks, if not all-out evil. It's a lot more fun than cosplaying someone who's nice.
I think I went to every single midnight release of Harry Potter, and you kind of have that energy there with all the other people that are waiting and they can't wait to find out what's going to happen, and each one I think got more and more excessive. Like the first couple I went to were like, yeah, I showed up and I'm waiting for the book, and then later ones, my whole Girl Scout troop dressed as the Gryffindor Quidditch team.
Oh man.
So I kind of think that's being with others kind of was what got me excited about Harry Potter.
Well, the internet has given fans an opportunity to connect with each other in a way that wasn't really ever possible before. It's really fantastic that I can be talking about Doctor Who with my friend who lives in Australia, and we've never even actually met in person, but we connected through the show and we've become very close friends. And so the internet has allowed people to find their niches and find their communities and really create these strong, wonderful communities, and it really gives you something to bond over with someone else that might be a complete stranger otherwise.
Oftentimes kids would bully me, but I actually didn't really care because I had fun, and I would usually just find friends who had the same interests, and I didn't really care if someone's like, oh, that's weird or nerdy, or what's that mean? And sometimes I just explain it.
Well, on the one hand, it's kind of true. I mean, I am the queen of the awkwards. I take pride in that fact. But on the other hand, it does kind of piss me off. Like, if you spend $80 on an official Falcons jersey or whatever, then who are you to point and laugh and be like, that kid spent $80 on his Klingon costume. What's wrong with him? Like, he's just expressing his passion for something he loves, just like you're expressing your passion for something you love. And so the societal devaluation and like the stigma really pisses me off. But like at the same time, it's like, well, what can I do to change that? Well, I can go out and I can be bloody fucking awesome, and anybody who has a problem with that can just take it up with me, I guess.
Oh.
I find that concept funny because everyone has something that they're an awkward, obsessive fan over. And so I find it funny that, well, you're a fan of comic books, and I've drawn an arbitrary barrier that comic books are an unacceptable thing to be slightly obsessive and weird over. And that is laughable because there is just a point of, well, where do you draw the line, especially as we're accepting more comic books into, like, literature, that we would consider Watchmen as one of the top 100 novels of the 20th century, or Mouse is, because it's very respected and you read it in class. So where you draw the line precisely just makes me sort of laugh at these people. There's no better response than to laugh at them.
How do I respond to haters on fandom? I think they should suck it, but I think fandom is something they probably don't understand. It's not about awkward kids doing awkward things. It is on the surface maybe, but it's really about identifying with stories and characters and finding characteristics that you find that you can emulate, and
So in these fandoms, you can find people like yourself, and you're like, in a society that tends to devalue intelligence and tends to treat people who are a little bit different as pariahs and ostracize them and stuff. Like for somebody like me, growing up as a smart kid in a small town and, absolutely going through hell of being bullied and stuff, I could go into Harry Potter and I could go into Star Trek and I could go into Doctor Who, and in every one of those I could find people like me who, no, they weren't the most popular and they weren't the prettiest and they weren't the most athletic, but they were smart and they were determined and they were resourceful, and that made them the heroes and that made them kick ass.
Adventure Time kind of deals with issues that are grown up and, real life things like fear of losing friends or, identity and things like that.
Or like a phase.
This is not a fad. I plan on, if I get too old and I look all wrinkly and creepy, I'm not sure if anyone who watches this knows of Dr. Tran. I'm gonna go as the old lady who drives the car, or I'm gonna go for older characters, or maybe I'll try to do the really creepy, sexy costumes. Just be like an old woman, yeah, how you doing, honey? Just to be weird, because it just would be fun. And if I ever have children, they're probably gonna go to conventions with me, and I'm gonna just drag them along. They're just gonna be like, Mom, no. So, I don't see it ending.
Fandom was something that I used to keep to myself, and it's now become something I like to share with other people because it is a part of my life. Like, these shows or books or, things have shaped my life, so why not make it a part of myself and accept it and let everybody know that I accept this about myself.
I mean, if you get old, there's other cosplays. I might not be cosplaying the Joker forever. When I'm like a 40-year-old woman, that'd be weird. Who knows? It might work.
It might work even better.
It might work even better.
Might
For
have
all I know.
saggy skin that
For all I
fits.
know, it'll work. But you can always find something that'll work. You can always find something to play with. If I'm 80, 90, I can still be like the older characters from Last Airbender. I can still be freaking Auntie Harl. Oh, that terrifying Auntie Harl from Batman Beyond.
Watching Buffy shaped what I wanted to do with my life, and I ended up shifting my focus to film and television and directing. And so, fandom has basically shaped a huge portion of who I am as a person. And I used to kind of wish I could, in 6th grade when I was talking enthusiastically about Babylon 5 and everybody was looking at me like I was crazy and everybody else was into SpongeBob or whatever, I used to really, really wish that, I wish I could like the normal things or whatever. But now that I think about it, I'm so immensely grateful for fandom, and it's just it has shaped my life and it's shaped who I am as a person, and I really wouldn't have it any other way.
My name is Victoria. My fandoms are Batman, Spider-Man, Animorphs, Phantom of the Opera, Sherlock, Sailor Moon, and probably a good dozen I'm forgetting to mention.
Hi, I'm Brianna. My fandoms are Bleach, Inuyasha, Outlaw Star, comic books, Lock and Key, some Batman, could go on and on, games, Kingdom Hearts, definitely Kingdom Hearts, and I love fandom.
My name is Jamie. I'm in fandom, and I may or may not actually be Batgirl. You'll never know, though.
My name is Hannah Reeves, and I'm in a fandom.